Okay, real quick video here on evaluating the negative of a variable. So we're looking at a question like this where we have been asked to evaluate negative y, the negative of a variable. The variable is y, and we've been given a couple different values there that we want to evaluate. So let's jump into part A. We want to evaluate negative y. So whenever we want to evaluate an expression, we want to replace that variable, which is now showing there in red. We want to replace that with whatever number we've been asked for it to take on and leave everything else around it the same. So in this case, that's going to be that 35 up there that is going to replace the y. Now, when we evaluate expressions, what we want to do is we want to put in our first step anyways, put that variable in a bracket because there might be other things around being multiplied or in fractions or who knows what else is going on with this variable. And we got to be careful that if we don't put the brackets there, sometimes we will it'll look like something different than it actually is. Now, sometimes the brackets turn out to be doing nothing, but in some cases they're quite important. So we are going to replace this y with a bracket. What is going to go in that bracket? The value of y that they have told us, 35. So we put that 35 in the bracket. And now we look at what we have. We have the negative of, now inside this bracket, this just evaluates to 35, right? Bracket 35, bracket, that's just 35, but there's a negative sign in front. So our final answer here is negative 35. On to part B. Once again, we're being asked to evaluate negative y. So once again, we are going to replace the y with something, specifically in this case, with that negative 35. Again, we're going to be careful by starting with a bracket. So notice the y in this expression has become a bracket, and everything else about the expression, which in this case is just a negative sign out front, everything else has remained the same, just the y has become a bracket. What goes in that bracket? Negative 35. And now let's evaluate what we have. We have negative. Remember, negative means opposite, right? So this is the opposite of negative 35. Or if you really want to get technical, this is inside the bracket is the opposite of 35. And then when you put another negative in front, it's the opposite of 35. Well, what's the opposite of something? It's just itself again. So the negative of negative 35 is just positive 35.